My name is Jackie Morris and I write and illustrate books for children, but not just for children really. The books that I do are for people. Some of them are quite grown up. Some of them, like Tell Me a Dragon, is more for younger children, and I'm really pleased because this one has been chosen to be part of the Summer Reading Challenge, which is lovely. There's not many words in it, but you can read the pictures as well as the words. When I was very young, learning to read I found really, really difficult. I always found spelling very difficult. So I used to take out books from the library and I used to make up stories to go with the pictures. It's very good training for an illustrator. Books that I loved the Jungle Book. There's one particular edition that I always used to take out of the library, and it had red covers and it was quite thick, beautiful colour plates, very old-fashioned. The first really long book that I read was Call of the Wild, and then Call of the Wild and White Fang by Jack London, and I absolutely loved these books. And I think that was what really hooked me into reading. I love dragons. One of the reasons I love dragons is because you find stories about them all around the world in every single culture, and it goes right back through history. I live in Wales, and in Wales there's a story about two dragons. Sometimes I lose stories. It's about a king who's building a castle, and every time they build the walls up in the daytime, they get higher and higher, and then at night they tumble. So every morning when they come back, the walls have all tumbled and it's stones all around, and he decides, having asked the advice of many a wise man, that the best thing he can do is sacrifice Merlin on the foundations because they need magical blood to hold the stones up. But Merlin points out to him that the reason the walls are tumbling is because there are two dragons that live in a cave underneath the castle, a red dragon and a white dragon. The red dragon is the old ways and the white dragon is the new. It might be the other way around, I'm not sure, and one of them is going to win. That one. But in Wales there are so many dragons, it's almost like you can look at the landscape. Like I was camping on Russili Bay a few weeks ago, and I looked up and there's this ridge of green, and out through the top of it, like the spine of a sleeping dragon, it's like the backbone. It's just these rocks sticking up out of the land. That's what it's like where I live. Dragons everywhere, curled around every corner. It's probably the one that I'm going to be doing next, because the ones that I've done, when I'm illustrating, I have an image in my mind's eye of what I want something to look like, and when I start off just with a small sketch, and you sketch the idea down, and then I do it to the right size, and I start working, and it's all going quite well to start with, and I'm trying to kind of pull out from inside my head what's there and get it on the paper, and then there comes a point where something happens and it starts to go a bit wrong. I used to really worry about this because I get this sense when I finished a painting of disappointment, because it's never like what I wanted it to look like. It's never like what was in my head. And then if I do it again, it's better. Because the only way that you can learn how to do something is to do it. And in the doing of it, you find out what needs to be changed to make it better. But then the next time you do it, you learn even more things that would make it better. You can just keep doing and doing and doing the same piece of work, and you can't do that. You have to let it go and move on to the next piece. So I would say my favourite piece of work that I have done is the one that I'm doing next. And the next thing I have to do is I'm working on a book called Wild Swans, which has lots of swans in it, which means I'm going to have to go and sit down by a river and watch swans and draw swans. And it's hard work, but somebody has to do it.